In this video, we are going to look at acceleration. Acceleration tells you the rate of change in velocity, or more simply put, how quickly something speeds up or slows down. We can calculate acceleration by taking the change in velocity and dividing it by the time. We can write this shorter by writing a equals v minus u divided by t, where a is the acceleration in meters per second squared, t is the time in seconds, v minus u is the change in velocity, so v is the end velocity and u is the start velocity in meters per second. Now let us look at an example. We have an aeroplane that accelerates from 10 meters per second to 60 meters per second, and it does this in a time of 10 seconds. So our start velocity is 10 meters per second and our end velocity is 60 meters per second. Now we have to plug those numbers into our equation. So v minus u is 60 meters per second minus 10 meters per second, and the time t is 10 seconds. So 60 minus 10 is 50, 50 divided by 10 is 5, so the acceleration of this aeroplane is 5 meters per second squared. It is important to remember that acceleration is a vector, which means that it has direction. So acceleration can also be negative, and a negative acceleration means that we have a deceleration and the object is slowing down. Before we look at the next example, there is just something that we need to be aware of. If at the start of an acceleration the object is stationary, so not moving like the rocks in this picture, then the start velocity u is 0. So we are going to look at the example of a cheetah. A cheetah accelerates from rest to 30 meters per second in 3 seconds. Calculate the acceleration of the cheetah. So when looking at the question, we can see that the end velocity v is 30 meters per second and the time t 3 seconds. When we look at it a bit more closely, we can see that the cheetah accelerates from rest, and this means that at the beginning the cheetah is stationary, it is not moving, so the start velocity u is 0 meters per second. Now we just have to plug these numbers into our equation. So we get 30 meters per second minus 0 meters per second divided by 3 seconds. This gives us 30 divided by 3, which gives us an acceleration of 10 meters per second squared.